What's up, wonderful people? Thank you very much for clicking, man. You are loved and respected. Here we are all about love, peace, forgiveness, unity, and good vibes as our message out there to the world, you see? And we believe by clicking this video, you can help us spread this message out there by watching till the end and hitting the like button, you see? Tell us where you're watching from, man. Straight out of Africa with good vibes, lots of good vibes. Watch till the end and leave a comment. Let's dive in. Good vibes, man.
So the debate continues. Is the Earth a globe, as NASA says, or is the Earth flat, as the Bible describes? Let's get Tucker's opinion on this. He seems to have a lot of new opinions on things lately. As always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Like, share, and follow. Much love to you.
Well, we got you for one last question. Before, actually, I want to do that last question. Tucker, one thing, we don't have the clip. You said, and this is another thing, Jimmy went to Princeton, he's so smart, but I talked to this guy, Eddie Bravo, who's good friends with Joe Rogan, and they give me these ideas, and they say that there's this thing called the ice wall, and that the Earth might be flat. What do you think about flat Earth theory, Tucker?
Well, I'm open to anything, but
hey, that's it! Cut the soundbite!
How could I not be open to anything at this point? I mean, there's been so much deception that, you know, you can't trust your preconceptions. So I'll tell you this, the story that we were told growing up in school about the progression of history, how it's sort of an unending, you know, like ascent toward enlightenment and technological progress. It's linear, it moves in one direction. Except for the Dark Ages, that's a complete lie. It's a complete lie. I mean, there's like overwhelming evidence that's not true. So once you understand that the most basic stories we've been told about history, about the Earth, the physical Earth itself, which has been completely changed by climate change for millions of years, once you realize all of that, then it's like, I don't know, what is true? As for the curvature of the Earth, that's a thing in shooting. I like rifle shooting, and past a certain distance, you have to take that into account, so that suggests it's real. Because one thing I know is real is guns. Guns are real.
You are a hunter, so okay.
It affects.
So you're saying the Earth could be round. Okay, we like that now.
Oh, that's some good baba there. Good vibes, baba. Oh my god, what's happening here? Looks like some good vibes dog and pig. Where are they from? Oh, from the bush there. What are they up to? Are they from someone's farm or what's happening here?
Is this the very first God and God Most High that we hear about within the biblical canon? This is King Anu from the Mesopotamian Anunnaki mythology, who perfectly fits the archetype of El Elyon, or God Most High, the God of the greater heavens. Anu plays a greater background role than really any of the other gods within these Mesopotamian myths. However, he's also the big sky daddy of Enki and Enlil that we hear about so often within the Anunnaki myth. He's also the archetypal god on a throne, dwelling off Earth. You know, the one that Enoch went up to meet, as well as Adam or Adapa in the Mesopotamian myth. The deeper we look into the Anunnaki mythology, the more wild connections we find to other myths, including the book of Genesis. The question still begs, how did these ancient prophets come to meet King Anu? Follow for more in the series.
As you can see, the clouds form a perfect square shape, with one of the corners coming to a point just above the horizon. There's a clear line of contrast against the blue sky on either side.
Oh, what is that? What do you think was happening on the sky? Someone's spell book. The spell book attributed to Solomon's describe the awakening and use of Holy Spirits. Oh my God! You know, this guy was a very wise man, and this book must have some very, very important knowledge. Oh, the awakening and use of Holy Spirit. Oh, this is incredible. Where can someone get this book? Where do these people get these books? I wonder. Anyway, I'd like to know what's inside. What language is this that is used to write here? It looks like some weird language, some drawings type of language. Oh, this is crazy. And all these drawings, oh my God. Wow, this is surprising. My friend, please share any information you have about this in the comment section. Leave a comment there. This looks like Baphomet or that and some blank pages. What? This is crazy. How to raise Nike Air Force. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh my God, this is very interesting. It makes the shoe look more beautiful. Oh my God. You say this is some creative style and it looks some artistic ways of tying your shoes. This is incredible. Sailors are just incredible how they can come up with crazy and interesting ideas that are just appealing to the eyes. Please, from wherever you are, feel loved and respected from this side, you see? And from just those that are around you, show love and caring and respect, you see? Good vibes to the world. Much love. You are all loved and respected.
So 80 to 90% of all divorces are women leaving men. Unpack that for us. I looked up the research and it's 70% of women that are initiating divorce. Would you work at a company that only had a 30% retention rate for their employees? 70% of the employees are leaving the company? Would you think, oh man, these employees suck? Or would you think, what the hell's wrong with that employer that they can't keep any employees? So then I put my researcher cap on and I read a lot of articles from psychologists who are doing all this marriage counseling to see what's really going on. And hands down, the women are mad. They feel tricked. They get into this marriage thinking that they're going to have a partner and they're going to have support. And the three biggest reasons that women are walking away from marriage is, number one, their partner isn't emotionally intelligent and doesn't know how to emotionally connect. So there's no actual friendship between the husband and the wife. Number two, the women are carrying all of the mental load and emotional labor for the entire family, and it's exhausting. And number three, they're just not accepting abuse anymore. And abuse is defined as someone who tries to control you, manipulate you, or neglect you. And the statistics show that 50% of women, once they get divorced, don't remarry. They're done. But 70% of men will remarry. Because studies also show that marriage is much more beneficial for men. They live longer and they're able to make more money in their jobs because someone's holding things down at the home fort. And marriage is not beneficial for women. Men tend to rely on women to do all of the household labor, to do all of the mental load of making doctor's appointments, purchasing the things for the house, doing the cooking, the cleaning, and that the women are carrying the emotional labor as well. Meaning they're always trying to initiate connection and help regulate everybody's emotions better. I'll also add that only 27% of women say that they regret getting a divorce, whereas 39% of men say they regret getting a divorce. So the institution just isn't working for women much anymore. And so much of that has to do with the fact that men are struggling to regulate their emotions, to be emotionally intelligent, and to know how to emotionally connect with a woman, especially around the area of having empathy. So that's my interpretation of the statistics. What's yours?
I was sitting in my kitchen reading the paper, and there was awful thunder and lightning, and about 3 minutes later I heard a big bang. So I ran out to the front door of my house. I just live in the village, and I witnessed, it was unreal. I just looked up towards the bridge and all the trees along the canal were just flattened, and then there was a house that used to be Farrell's house. The roof just lifted off it, and it continued up, and down to the marina, caused awful damage to Seamus Gibbons' shop plus apartments, and a lot of boats damaged as well. I'd say it lasted about 30 seconds at the most, 30 seconds. 100% tornado. Everything just blew up in the air.
This world, man, there's just too much conflict. You're welcome to believe and to think what you want to think, and I'm not obligated to get on here and to change your mind. It is not my obligation and my responsibility to change your mind. It happens all the time when people are looking for an argument, and I'm not going to argue. I'm just not going to argue. And that's what you need. Many of you need to start developing this outlook in life. Don't start none, won't be none. Don't engage. Why can't more people do that these days? Some people just want to watch the world burn. They just want to set it on fire to watch it burn. Why? Why? It's not necessary. And you're just burning your life up, and you're distorting and burning and charring other people's lives. Why can't you let them live in peace in the way they want to live? You can consider yourself to be whatever you want. Now, whether I think you're right or I think you're wrong doesn't matter, because it's not about me. Stop insisting that other people change their view of who you are. Other people's view don't matter.
It's amazing what the locals do for Neil the Seal.
I wonder what we can do to put it on the corner of the house.
Yeah, I'll come up with something.
Because, I mean, the fence, I don't give a shit about that. He banged that this morning, it went in about 2 inches.
Yeah, right.
Might lose that window a bit.
Oh, Neil, what are we going to do with you?
Where do you think that came from? Oh
If
my
you're not on Neil the Seal TikTok, what are you even doing with your life? This is way better than Capybara TikTok ever was. So who's Neil the Seal? This is Neil the Seal. He's a 3-year-old elephant seal that was born in Tasmania and comes back there every single year to molt. Elephant seals have to come onto land for a month out of every single year to do something called catastrophic molting. This is where they lose all their fur and the first layer of skin. And while they're doing this, they're unable to go into the water. During this time, they can lose up to 25% of their body weight. And while most elephant seals just sit on a beach to do their catastrophic molting, Neil the Seal seems to enjoy hanging out with the people of Tasmania. He likes to play with traffic cones. He's been showing up in people's yards. One lady actually had to call in to work and tell them that she couldn't make it in today because Neil was blocking her truck in her driveway. And that might seem a little dramatic, but at 3 years old, Neil is already about 1,300 pounds. When he's full grown at around 8 or 9 years old, he can be anywhere between 5,000 and 8,000 pounds. Southern elephant seals are actually the largest seals in the entire world. This is Neil actually at that lady's truck, but look at his little hat. It's not actually a hat. It's a tracker that's been stuck on his head to try to keep Neil out of trouble as much as possible. Anyways, Neil is absolutely adorable, and I'm loving Neil the Seal TikTok. But if for some reason you're in Tasmania and you happen to come across Neil, it's always a good reminder to keep your distance from wildlife. At the end of the day, while he has a very cute face, he still is a wild male elephant seal, and he is a very powerful animal.
Have you ever done the Polymer experiment? Because let me tell you about it. So in my school, kids 3 through 8 have a class called STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, mathematics, but the primary doesn't. But we were just told about a week ago that we had to come up with a science fair project that's due next Wednesday. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Science fair projects with little kids to be independent is very hard. I'm not going to lie to you. So I was like, well, what am I going to do that we could do as a class that was easy? And if you've never seen the Polymer experiment, the kids love it. Polymer is just like this really big molecule, okay, that plastic has. And inside that big molecule is like a whole bunch of chains of little molecules. So what happens is when you stick something inside the bag of water, your bag should be about half full. This is too full, actually. It should be about half full. When you stick it in the bag and then go across like this, it doesn't leak. And the reason is because those polymers attach onto the pencil as it's going through, and it basically creates a seal. So even though these are completely stuck through the bag, there is no leakage down here. And you really can just keep sticking them in and out. I've had a lot of fun doing this. I know the kids are going to have a lot of fun. I know if it's a mess, it's only going to be water. And it's something that they can learn that's very new that I could do kind of quickly, because we have our first dance this week that I'm, in charge of with a few other people. And all these Christmas presents coming in, I needed something quick and easy. And honestly, if you're a homeschool parent, anybody else, this one is so much fun. You could stick like 100 of these in here if you could fit them. And a lot of people use gallon-sized baggies, but I actually just have a bajillion of these baggies at school, so these are the ones we're going to use today. But yes, you just fill the bag halfway through. You just explain what polymers are, and you let them stick pencils through the water, okay? And yeah, I wouldn't squeeze it or nothing. I bet you it's going to come out because it's going to mess with the polymers. But yeah. Happy science. Science is fun. I love science. I just wish it wasn't like right at Christmas time, because there's just a lot going on. But they're going to have a lot of fun. Okay, love you guys. Bye.
Hey y'all, a couple months ago I got this tiny little hen from a breeder called Baytown Saramas. I mean, just look at this tiny adorable little thing. Here she is versus a measuring tape, if you want to know how small she truly is. I picked up that little lady to be a pen mate to this one right here. She is a Sarama hen with special needs, but they get along and do great in a pen together. This tiny little lady has apparently started laying, and I found the most adorable nest in the coop today, and I've got to show you. I opened up this coop today and I found this nest, and the size of these eggs are hilarious. They are so small. I mean, just look at these tiny eggs. These things are teeny tiny, and these aren't just like a fart or a fairy egg. These are her normal eggs that she's laying. These little tiny eggs. Is that not the cutest nest you have ever seen in your entire life? Oh my gosh. Little tiny eggs from a little tiny hen.
What's wrong? Is there something wrong?
This is a picture A of baby A.
Yes.
This is picture of baby B.
Yes.
This is picture of baby C.
Okay.
That's all of them in one.
More than 3 babies? Are you serious? 1, 2, 3. Are you serious? Why is that bad?
It's not.
It's amazing.
Having 3 babies.
Holy fuck! Are they healthy? Is everything as it should be? You're amazing. That's great. Is that why this is good? Why? You don't think this is good news?
I think it's great news. It's just shocking news.
Happy. No, who cares? I'm happy. We're going to need a bigger house.
Everyone is doing it on the stove. The gas delivery man, when he came to the house, taught me and revealed this secret to me. And here on your stove, you'll notice that after you've used it for a long time, look at how it will be very stained with oil, okay? And you'll save a lot by doing this, because this tip was passed on to me by a gas delivery man. So will you start by putting toothpaste on the mouth of your stove? With a paintbrush or a silicone brush, we'll spread it very well. This toothpaste all over the mouth of the stove, and we're going to do this with all 4 of them. This will save you a lot of gas in your house. You'll realize after you've done it for the first time. Let's do it. On all the burners, after we've put all the toothpaste on the 4 burners, let's put it in a container. And we'll also put 2 generous spoonfuls of salt on top. And you're going to put a generous spoonful of bicarbonate of soda on top of that. Now you're going to take the detergent you have at home and we're going to put it here until you see that it's on all the burners. About 2 tablespoons of detergent. It can be any detergent you have. And finally, you're going to take boiling water and pour it over the water. It has to be very hot for it to react, and it will clean and remove all the dirt, and you'll see what happens here. Put it on until it's covered. After 10 minutes or so, look at our stove burners. You won't even need a scouring pad to scrub them. Look. Most of it has already come off, and the rest comes off even with your finger, the grease. It loosens all the grease here. From our stove burners, look at this. It's a powerful mixture. It loosens everything. There are some you don't even have to rub. It's all gone. It removed itself. Look, all the grease comes off easily with your finger. Leave it with the scouring pad. You're just going to make it shinier. Look at that. And that was the first tip for you to make better use of your gas outlet. You'll make better use of your gas and save money. The second step is to use the water that's here and take a cotton bud or a toothpick and put a cotton ball in it. You'll dip it in the water and then you'll swab it inside your mouth. Here. And right at the exit, too. The gas outlet, you're going to wipe it and look at this. It prevents almost 30% of the gas from coming out of your stove, and you're going to do this with all of them. You can see that it's very dirty. Just wipe it over and all the dirt will come off, and you'll do this with all of them. Do it in your house, and you'll tell me if you've made any savings on your gas. Check it out.
This declassified footage is not the first footage. Think about that. The first footage would be like, oh shit, man, I don't know what this thing is. It could be a missile, it could be whatever. That's not what they declassified. What they declassified was video number 12, 15, 18, 25, 200. Who knows what video number this is? But they declassified something, but that doesn't mean that they declassified the first video of it. And that's important because if they chose to declassify this, there's a reason. What's the reason? What benefit does the government have? What benefit does the Navy have for releasing this footage?
What would you say?
I would say that this is a Chinese hypersonic missile, and they wanted to send a message to the Chinese to say, we know you're developing something new.
I agree with that.
So we're going to send a message to the world. We're going to call it a UFO so it doesn't turn into a diplomatic issue. We're going to show the footage so that you know we're watching it. We know it's there. And there's all sorts of classified footage, classified conversations, classified documentation that we're not going to leak, but we're going to selectively leak this to send a message to you that it's out there. And what happened?
We caught it on the radar long enough where we could have blasted it if we wanted to, we think.
Potentially.
But might be able to turn quick.
But to me, it's highly suspicious, leaning towards causation, that the reason the hypersonic missile race picked up in 2022 was because in 2021, the DoD filed this giant UFO report that Congress asked for. So now all of a sudden the government, the U.S. military was like, we can't really keep this secret anymore. Let's go ahead and make the whole world know that we know hypersonic missiles exist and the Chinese already have them, the Russians might already have them, and we don't really have them yet, but they're under development. That's an embarrassing story, so they don't want to have that story until...
So you redirect.
No apparent flight control surfaces, no apparent visible means of propulsion, and...
So pause there for me too. So this is important also. We're listening to a voice and we're watching a video. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the voice we're listening to is watching the same video that we're watching. Yeah. When you hear her say things like, there's no apparent flight controls, there's no apparent exhaust, right? What the... I don't know about you. I would feel like an asshole if I looked at a blurry dot from a far distance and tried to make the conclusion that there's no flight control.
Well, could she see through it?
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So what I think is happening here is that the recording that we're listening to is either part of like a multi-image, like there were 3 different types, because most devices on an aircraft that observe in multiple visual spectrums. They observe infrared, they observe main visual, they observe with ultra lenses that really that have focal points that allow them to zoom in. So more likely she's making an assessment watching multiple screens with multiple feeds. And this is just the blurriest feed. This is the one that could be declassified because they didn't want to show the ultra high resolution one.
Right.
Let's talk honey trap investigations. Do you know the difference between a loyalty test and a honey trap? Well, the difference is largely where this type of investigation or this type of interaction is happening. Typically, a loyalty test happens online, and it doesn't necessarily need to be done by a professional investigator. You may just have a friend, you may go on one of these free sites and say, hey, can anyone help me with a loyalty test? And it's really just approaching this person's partner via their social media account and testing the waters, engaging with them, seeing how they're interacting with the opposite sex, seeing if they're flirting with that person, seeing if they're saying they're single or not, which is probably a big thing. And then even to the point where they say, hey, do you want to meet up and arrange a date? And what happens from there really comes down to the client or the partner of that person that's asking for this type of investigation. A honey trap investigation is typically done by a professional, although, anyone can really do it, and it involves meeting in real life. Normally, this is when a client will come to an investigator and say, I would like you to test let's say, for instance, my husband. He's going to go to a bar on Saturday night with all the blokes. This is a photo of him. I want you to approach him, start talking to him, see where it goes, see how far you can take it, and then report back to me with everything you found out. Now, as an investigator, what do you think my opinion of these types of things are? Well, I actually don't agree with them. I think you're creating a false environment of something that probably is unlikely to happen in the real world, but because you are creating that spouse's dream person, and given that you're coming to an investigator asking them to do this, your relationship probably isn't in the best place to begin with, then by all means, they probably will be attracted to this person because you have given us all the information we need to know to create the perfect person for them, which is probably unlikely going to be in real life. And generally, when clients come to us and they want these honey trap investigations, they want a stunner, someone way above the typical person that they could get in the everyday life that they're interacting with. So yeah, it's not something that I would typically agree with. If you just want to find out if your partner's flirting with someone online or trying to carry on a conversation that they shouldn't, then yeah, okay, I'm not.
And Zechariah talks about 2 female winged creatures. They weren't angels because the Bible did not call them angels, but 2 female winged creatures carrying this basket, and inside the basket is Athaliah, the Jezebel's daughter. And I mean, it's just so much scripture and history to teach it. She is more wicked. The spirit of Athaliah is more wicked than Jezebel ever was, because this Athaliah, the queen of Judah for 6 years, murdered her own grandchildren to get to the throne. And so in this season, the spirit of Athaliah is rising and taking revenge for Jezebel.
Guess what I've got on my camera? Infrared is what I've got. And look at these objects all around the sun. And no, you're not seeing things. They're there. Trying them out really fast because I've got to go to work. But I can't wait to hook these up to the binoculars and see what I can see, because I think it's going to be a little exciting. We're going to go around in a circle.
How's your phone work? Your cell phone, tell me how it works. This was the other bitchiness that I got from people over and over again. They're like, well, all you're doing is saying, how does your phone work? No, I'm trying to draw your attention to literal tech metrics. I don't know where my phone went. So that you understand how easy it is to log into you and make a change. So, how did we get to this point where all these good people in radio frequency, etc., that they don't know shit about what we're actually doing in the human body? And in order to explain all of this, I've had to make a gazillion signs. I've had to come back out here over and over again. And I've been trying to figure out why it is, here's my phone, that nobody else seems to know these things. Okay? This is my great uncle's folder from Shepherd Air Force Base. I often also show his Aberdeen Proving Ground stuff. That's my little pink book, wherever it's hiding at the moment. And then I also go over his old notes with flux density notation with mercury and whatnot. Why? So that people understand that this has been going on for a really long time. So tell me how your phone works. When you click a button and you send an email, you don't see the email leave the phone. It's a wireless, invisible signal, just like your body. It's a body part. So when I worked at UW Whitewater, for my job, I found IBM software that they alleged was also used way back when Fauci and them wanted to get their shit off the ground for attacking the human immune system. Well, if you don't know that the human immune system is 80% your biofields, you called it the aura, you called it stupid. Yeah, I know. That's because 6,000 years of human telemetry, chiropractic, and the rest of it for your circulatory system just magically disappeared. Nobody has any idea what's going on. That was 6,000 years of the human circulatory system. You call it chakras. Yeah, they call it aim and fire. 150 years ago, Aleister Crowley and people, yeah, nothing's real except what you can see. There is no biofield. There's no cymatics, there's no radionics, there's no plasmonics. There's nothing except what you can see. Well, that's a body part that's responsible for 80% of our immune system. How do we know for sure? The definition at Children's Hospital, the organs and tissues that comprise the immune system, the thymus, the bone marrow, the lymphatic, your vessels, your spleen, and your skin. And so I'm like, yeah, the human biofield being watched by Project Salus. So the human biofield is the aura, is your W band, 802.15.6. Department of Defense Directive 3000.09, everything is autonomous. And you have an MQ-9 Reaper drone attached to your skin and bone. That's a big bird for those of you that know. She's huge. And so for me, I'm like, why in the hell do we need something that big? Well, for those of you in radio frequency, yet again, that don't understand that we're playing around with the particulate in the atmosphere and perturbating the human biofield with the Doppler. Okay? And we're not talking about any of that. We're not talking about geoengineering and weather control, and all these systems work together. When I log into your body, I'm looking at multiple manifolds, torus manifolds, and then I'm using mathematics to log into your cell structure with something called biophysics, octo-array, electronic, photonic, moving your cells around with pressure, temperature, and physics, physical biophysics change. Not oh gee, I'm waving my magic wand. No, I'm logging into your body with radio frequency directly. This is how AI precision healthcare is offered. And I'm going to show you the bigger sign here in a minute. Step 1. Since 2005, any little nerd who could code in Zigbee and Bluetooth for light switches since 2005 is working with these biosensors, K-hop nearest neighbor routing, dynamic channel allocation, thermodynamic routing, right there. You can go look it up. Open shortest path first, body to body. How did I find it? Cybersecurity for the new digital ID and the 6G low personal area network. Machine to machine, no human can crack it or de-encrypt it or encrypt it. And it's ad hoc, vehicular ad hoc or whatever. And then the body is what sends the signal. Now, the moment that I found this mathematically by the metrics, I had a shit fit because I'm like, how in the hell are you using the human body for that? What are you doing? If you're doing that, you're using the aura. And of course, you can imagine, as a natural telepath, having been electronically tortured lifelong for metrics, I'm like, what the fuck is this? You told me, not y'all, but family, professionals, people, oh, energy work is bullshit, the aura's not real, only believe in what you can see, we're gonna fix people's health. Well, I was told I had pseudotumor cerebri. Anybody got an autoimmune disorder out there? You ever wondered why they can't fix it? Okay, maybe I should get that other sign back here for a second. Where's your immune system? 80% of your immune system is in that field. Am I able to electronically log into you and change out the cellular homeostasis of your electrical cell structure? And anybody who knows anything about biology, do you shit ham sandwiches? When you go eat your lunch, after you're done eating your lunch, do you shit it out in the same format? No. And why is that? Because we're biochemical beings and we have electricity in our cells. Yeah. But if I hit you with the signal and I decouple your ass from your circadian rhythms by using the ratio, the golden ratio, to decouple, uncouple the cellular state. Now, where did I get this from? Tufts University, Dr. Michael Levin. Life extension, synthetic biology, immortality research. It's called regenerative medicine, biomedical tissue engineering, wireless tissue engineering. For that, we have to disassociate your electrical fields, plural. This is called the Biofield at the National Institute of Health. In the quantum market share, it's called the quantum field. In morphogenesis, you heard me, synthetic biology, morphogenesis, it's called the morphogenetic field. And why? Because it's still all the same damn thing. Your cells at every level exchanging data in your lymphatic system, your tissues. And now they're hacking into that, changing it so that they can get transhumanism, synthetic biology, life extension. Where the fuck is everyone else?
You are enough. You are enough. You are enough. So get up and do that thing that you have always wanted to do. Get up.
Oh my gosh! Oh, no way! Oh, listen. Here's one. Come on. Here we go. Alright, shh. What the? Last one. Come on, please. Oh my gosh! Oh, look at this, look. Come here. Oh yeah, this is a 20 million year old snail fossil. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, check this out. Watch what happens. All right, let's crack it open. Come on, a little more. There we go. All right, get ready, here we go. Whoa. This is a 20 million year old scallop fossil. I call these clam cakes. Very cool to find.
I walked into the kitchen and I looked at my husband.
Yo, wonderful people! Thanks for watching up to this far, man. Much love and respect for yourself, man. I'd like you to leave a comment of what you think about those videos, you see? And big up to all the guys that have been leaving a comment, hitting the like button. Like now I can mention a few, like Susan Hutchins. There's another one. MG so that one is respect to yourself, man. Much love. Joe Jr. All those people, much love to you, man. And another one, Diana Davis, or what was the name? All those guys, wonderful people. Much love to you. Send love from wherever you are. Good vibrations. Much love to all people.